Hey guys, what's up? It's Brendan from Heartbreaker Guitars, and I'm here at Namm 2018 at the Santa Cruz Guitars booth with none other than Richard Hoover. Richard, how you doing?
I like the way you talk, thank you. This for me is like coming to summer camp. I have really good friends that I only see here, but we've seen either so many times that the relationships are the ones you develop if you were stuck in an elevator, you know, so, and good to see you.
Yeah, good to see you too. Anyway, Richard, tell us about what's new at Namm for you guys. If there's anything that you'd like to show us that you're rolling out, we'd love to see it and hear about it.
I'd really like to do that. Well, you know, here I'll jump right to the punchline. Guitar's about as beautiful a vehicle as you could have, you know, and it is our vehicle. And part of what we really do is our message, and we're all about responsible harvest of our materials. Everything we use, we know where it comes from the very beginning, and they're mostly small families, and a lot of what we use is, let's call it reclaim, where we're not cutting a new tree, which is great and socially conscious, but it's also selfish, because we get better sounding wood when we do that. And we have an example here where we have a Sitka spruce top that was in the permafrost for 3,000 years. That's right. We can take a look at this. And it's not petrified, fossilized. It's the wood. It's been in the deep freeze. And what happens during time is the resins become like crystal and the wood becomes much better sounding. So one of the secrets of old violins and old vintage guitars is the wood sounds better. So when we start with that, we're cheating. We got a great head start in sound, and we're not cutting trees to do this. And it's a neat story. It's a really neat story.
Any other new guitars?
Yeah, indeed. We were talking earlier about our Firefly. You know, up until about 1880, guitars only had to be loud enough to be heard in the biggest room in the house. But that doesn't mean they didn't make the most sophisticated sound. They just weren't huge and loud. And guitars only got bigger to be heard above barking dogs and banjos, you know, and vaudeville. So we come to today where people could amplify, they could play in front of a microphone, and the sophistication you can do in a small guitar is really awesome. It can be sweet, it can be loud, and the problem with modern mass production brands is they use the same dimensions they use in larger guitars, and they're too heavy. They don't sound good. But done right, this is awesome. This is a koa backsides and top, and koa, like mahogany, is a spectacular tone wood when done intelligently. So this is sized proportionally to the guitar, so it's got great sustain, great overtones, and it is so accessible to pick up and play.
Yeah. You specifically said doing it right. I know koa is a spectacular looking wood, but it's not always 100%, you know, tonally there.
People are kind, they say it's mellow, and they mean really it's kind of not very loud. That's because it's made so heavy. If you ran a piece through a sander for a dreadnought and put it on this guitar, it kills the sound. And also, koa can't be as thick as spruce or it'll be dead. And if you go back to the guitars from the 20s and 30s and you measure those, we're talking about like maybe 2.8 millimeters versus 3.5 on a modern guitar. So I'm going to say, in all due respect, you were gamed. It's a beautiful sounding wood. You just heard it in the wrong context with that. So, you know, we fight these uphill battles with people's perceptions, but the only true thing is actually hearing it. Yeah. And our style of building, where the guitar is built in tune with itself, we always get sustain and overtones. And the woods really contribute the bright or dark quality, not the bass or treble. We can control that. So that's a big story. I try to smash it into a little bit. What's very cool for us is we put so much care into the guitars that the things we have to buy from others are disappointing. Cases, tuning machines, strings. So methodically, we've designed our own. And if people realize what we've done with guitars over the last 40 years, imagine what we can do with strings. And for the last 12 years, we worked on developing strings that, instead of trying to stay true to the gauge the measurement. We're working with accurate tensions, and with that we can control the relative amplitude, the EQ in the guitar, and we can rotate the bridge much more efficiently by matching tensions of the strings. The strings can make the guitar sound really, really good, or they can make it sound poor. So now we have control of that in making our strings. And they make our guitars sound better, and a great byproduct is we can put them in packages and offer them to other people. I think I said this, the world doesn't need another brand of strings. In violins, you could spend $125 and up on strings because that's what you want for your violin. Guitar players don't have that choice because they're fixed at an affordable price. So we needed something good, and we didn't get stuck with price. So anyway, Santa Cruz strings, we're checking it out. Yeah.
Can you take us through a little bit of the evolution of Santa Cruz? I mean, you guys have been around a long, long time, and what changes have you made over the years? Just talk a little bit about that.
I will. So where I started out as a guitar builder, before there was any books on steel string guitar construction, is violins, and the violin tradition is different. The secret to steel string guitars is you can make $1 million a year, and they're loud enough, marketing will take care of the rest. You really can sell guitars on concept, whereas the violin has to have this sophistication and the ability to cut through the orchestra and get to the back of the concert hall. So the principles that are different is a good violin is built by putting it together with complementary frequencies so it's in harmony, like composing a chord, and it sustains and it blossoms beautiful overtones. The steel string has traditionally been built by formula dimensions that make it efficient to build, and the frequencies are random. It's like throwing rocks at a piano, and it's loud, but it's not complex.
Right.
And marketing will take care of the rest. So most people haven't heard a guitar that's that sophisticated. So when we first started building, we were doing custom sound for people. I've been building on my own for quite some time, and there was nothing like that. And we attracted the attention of some real heavyweights from the very beginning. And with that, we have a reputation for being able to build not only the sound that somebody wants, but a really great guitar sounding every time. And people can get the string spacing, the neck shape, the color, and on and on and on. So what's happened over the years is we've gotten way better at what we do, more consistent, and our connection with people in the wood business are small families that trust us, and we get stuff that doesn't go through the regular food chain. So the old woods that we use sound better, and we can be particular. We make about the same amount of guitars as Taylor, except they do it in a day and it takes us a year. And I love those guys, so don't get me wrong. But with that, we keep the size of the company so we don't overrun our ability to get these materials, and we don't overrun the ability to attract really talented builders. Yeah. And people that aren't looking for a seasonal job, they're career luthiers, and they really add value to it. Plus, I choose them like I choose a roommate. I want quality of life too. So yeah, we want to have some fun while we're doing it. That was a lot in a hurry. Thanks for asking that question. Yeah.
Well, first off, thank you for partnering with us with Heartbreaker Guitars.
I'm very proud to work with you guys.
Thank you very much.
You do it right.
Yeah, we try.
And you got good roommate qualities. So you're good.
Oh, you can room with me anytime. Anyway,
Yeah.
Richard, pleasure. Have a great
Likewise.
show. And this is Brendan from Heartbreaker Guitars at the Santa Cruz booth, signing off, NAMM 2018.